Amid the parched landscapes of Namibia, an enormous salt pan emerges, barren yet mesmerizing in its own right. It is the only major breeding ground for nearly 1 million flamingos, which gather here after the heavy rains sweep across Namibia. This is also considered the best place in Africa to observe rhinos, especially at night, when they quietly gather around the waterholes. Wild Etosha. The local Ovambo people chose this name because it means the Great White Place, a phrase that perfectly captures the raw, understated beauty of the landscape. Etosha National Park has been protected since 1907, making it one of the oldest conservation areas in Africa. Before you dive into the majestic and otherworldly White Plains, let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments below. And now, welcome to Wild Etosha, echoes of survival in White Wasteland. As the crown jewel of Namibia, Etosha is home to the Big Four: the African elephant, lion, leopard, and Black Rhino. Herds of African elephants roam across the sun-scorched savanna, their trunks reaching out to trace the faint moisture rising from the earth. Lions silently follow the fading hoofprints of antelope through the dusty terrain. Leopards lie hidden in the low grass, patiently waiting for the perfect moment. In 2024, Namibia faced its most severe drought in a century, causing a drastic drop in water sources across Etosha National Park. Hippopotamuses, creatures so deeply tied to water, now find themselves stranded in hardened mud pits, their skin cracked under the relentless sun. Blue wildebeest and plains zebras trail one another in a seemingly endless journey in search of water, driven by instinct and hope. By early 2025, the rains returned, bringing with them a glimmer of renewal. Gemsbok, steenbok, and even rare species like the black-faced impala quickly seized the opportunity to graze despite the still scarce rainfall, breathing life back into the savanna and setting the stage for predators to follow. Located in northern Namibia, about 500 kilometers from the capital city of Windhoek, a rugged land unfolds like a majestic sanctuary in the heart of Africa. This is Etosha National Park, where the sun scorches the earth by day, and by night, the sky glows with stars like a dazzling, endless tapestry. Spanning 22,270 square kilometers, the park stands as one of the largest nature reserves on the continent, a vibrant heart beating in the vast wilderness south of the Sahara Desert. Nestled deep within the semi-arid region of northern Namibia, the Etosha Pan is now the shimmering remnant of an ancient freshwater lake. Around 10 million years ago, geological shifts caused the land to sink, forming an endorheic basin, a closed drainage system with no outlet to the sea. Back then, the Kunene River once flowed into this vast lake, creating a rich freshwater ecosystem in the heart of the continent. But the river didn't stay its course forever. Tectonic uplift gradually shifted the landscape, causing the Kunene to change direction and flow toward the Atlantic Ocean. Over time, the lake dried up, leaving behind layers of salt, clay, and pale, sun-baked mud. The result was the formation of the Etosha Pan, spanning roughly 4,800 square kilometers, covering nearly a quarter of the park's total area. The climate in Etosha National Park is harsh yet well-defined. The dry season stretches from May to October, with daytime temperatures typically ranging from 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, while nighttime temperatures can dip below 10 degrees Celsius. In stark contrast, the rainy season lasts from November to April, when each precious drop of rain falls onto the cracked pan, forming shallow pools that draw in tens of thousands of water birds. Beneath that vast sky, more than 114 species of mammals live and share the same space. With over 340 bird species, Etosha is truly a paradise for birdwatchers. In addition, around 110 species of reptiles and 16 species of amphibians have been recorded, each perfectly adapted to the semi-arid climate and the presence of temporary water sources. When the Etosha Pan has dried up, leaving only a cracked crust of salt stretching beneath the blinding sun, the entire northern region of Namibia begins to shift into its most demanding season of the year. From May to October, the dry season blankets Etosha National Park. All that remains is dust, scorching sunlight, and a timeless journey of survival, repeated each year in nature's own rhythm. Daytime temperatures during this season often reach between 35 and 48 degrees Celsius, creating an intensely dry and scorching environment. Natural water sources all but vanish from the landscape. Even the shallow seasonal rain pools slowly evaporate under the relentless sun, leaving behind only a handful of scattered water spots, mostly artificial waterholes or lingering puddles fed by underground springs. As water sources become scarce, herbivores have no choice but to gather in the same few remaining spots. The concentrated presence of prey unintentionally sets the stage for predators, turning these places into reluctant feasting grounds. The delicate balance between the hunted and the hunter, between survival and loss, reaches its peak in the dry season's relentless cycle of life in Etosha. At this time, Okaukuejo becomes the ideal destination for anyone seeking to experience the unique biodiversity of this land. Located about 17 kilometers from Anderson Gate, Okaukuejo is renowned for its flood-lit artificial waterhole where visitors can sit and observe wildlife around the clock, day and night. With a powerful build, standing up to 1.5 meters tall and weighing around 1,400 kilograms, the Black Rhino is not a creature easily challenged. They carry two horns that grow continuously throughout their lives, used for defense and playing a key role in intense encounters with others of their kind. Despite the name Black Rhinoceros, their skin is actually ash gray, sometimes appearing brownish from a coating of dust and mud, left behind after wallowing, a habit that helps cool their bodies and fend off parasites during the scorching days. Unlike the white rhino, which grazes on grass, the black rhino is a browser equipped with a pointed, prehensile upper lip that works almost like a finger, perfect for grasping tender leaves and pulling them down from thorny shrubs. They can go several days without drinking water directly, absorbing most of their moisture from the vegetation they eat. An essential advantage in such an arid environment. Yet the dry season remains a relentless test. As water evaporates almost completely from the ground, even the smallest rain-fed pools reduce to salt-crusted cracks. Artificial waterholes like the one at Okaukuejo become the final refuge. Here, even the solitary black rhino must share space with a host of other wild animals. Unlike during the day, when the searing heat pushes life into the shade, nightfall brings a shift. Under the soft glow of the lights installed at the waterhole, the silhouette of the black rhino slowly emerges. Its heavy frame moves steadily toward the water, ears flicking attentively, nostrils drawing in the scent of old tracks, a territorial behavior that marks its quiet claim on this shared sanctuary. As of 2023, Namibia is home to more than 2,200 black rhinos, accounting for over 1/3 of the species' total population across Africa. Etosha National Park alone holds over 70% of that number. However, with such concentration comes a heightened risk of poaching. Even with protection from dedicated rangers and advanced measures like GPS tracking, drones, and even horn trimming to deter illegal hunting, the black rhino still faces a challenge more severe than nature itself: the unrelenting greed of humankind. The parched earth of Okaukuejo trembles beneath the heavy, steady steps of a herd of blue wildebeest. Standing about 125 centimeters tall and weighing around 200 kilograms on average, blue wildebeest have a strong, muscular build. Their coats are a deep, silvery gray, often catching hints of blue in the sunlight, complemented by a long black mane and a thick beard running along the chin. Despite their bulky frame, they are far from sluggish. In critical moments, they can reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, a remarkable survival trait in a land like Etosha, where predators are never far behind. This antelope species lives in herds, ranging from a few dozen to several thousand. And it's this social behavior that helps shape the unique ecological identity of Okaukuejo. As specialized grazers, blue wildebeest primarily target short grasses that sprout quickly after each rainfall. Their digestive systems are finely tuned to process coarse grasses with low nutritional content, a clear advantage during the long dry season, when vegetation becomes scarce and less nourishing. At Okaukuejo, where artificial waterholes become lifelines during the dry season, blue wildebeest gather daily. They usually appear in the early morning or late afternoon, avoiding the blistering midday heat when temperatures can soar past 45 degrees Celsius. The air is still and heavy, and small groups of wildebeest approach the water in a loose formation, their eyes constantly scanning, ears perked high, their movements a mix of alertness and urgency. A flick of the tail, a short grunt from the throat. Each subtle gesture serves as silent communication, keeping the herd connected in the quiet tension of the moment. With their large numbers and constant movement in search of fresh grass, these herds of wildebeest help prevent vegetation on the ground from becoming overgrown or stale. Their steady grazing encourages new plant growth, allowing the landscape to renew itself after each rainy season. In turn, many smaller species, from insects to birds, benefit from this simple yet impactful behavior. Thriving in the healthier, more dynamic ecosystem the wildebeest helps sustain. However, migration, the most vital biological trait shaping the behavior of blue wildebeest, is increasingly being disrupted across much of Africa, especially due to artificial barriers, road networks, and land development. In Etosha, migratory behavior still exists, but it's becoming more limited as their living space continues to shrink. A study published in early 2024 warned that herds of wildebeest trapped within smaller areas are beginning to show signs of genetic decline. This loss of genetic diversity means the species may struggle to adapt to future environmental changes, including prolonged drought and climate shifts. They are seasonal breeders, typically mating right after the rainy season when fresh grass is abundant and nutrition is at its peak. After a pregnancy lasting about 8.5 months, the female gives birth to a single calf. A remarkable trait of the species is that most newborns can stand within minutes of birth, and within just a few hours, they're able to run alongside the herd. It's a brilliant biological design for survival in a harsh environment where threats can emerge at any moment. Often seen moving alongside herds of blue wildebeest, plains zebras make their way leisurely toward the scarce water sources scattered across the heart of the savanna. Amid the withered grasses and cracked earth, their presence feels like flowing notes of melody, drifting across the monochrome rhythm of the dry season landscape. With a medium build among Africa's wild equids, plains zebras stand about 1.3 meters tall at the shoulder and can weigh up to 350 kilograms when fully grown. Their alternating black and white stripes are an unmistakable signature. Each individual carries a unique pattern, like a biological fingerprint. These stripes help regulate body temperature by promoting air circulation across the striped areas, and they also play a role in confusing predators by disrupting visual focus when the zebras move together as a group. In Etosha, especially around the Okaukuejo waterhole, plains zebras live within a social structure known as a harem, a small group made up of one dominant male, several females, and their young. These harems often come together to form larger herds, especially during the dry season, when the urgent need for water and food drives them to travel collectively. Plains zebras are strict grazers, specializing in feeding on short grasses that grow quickly after brief bursts of rain. Because of this, they play an important role in regulating plant biomass. As they graze, they clear space for fresh new growth, preventing the overgrowth or aging of low-lying vegetation. In doing so, they help maintain the vitality and balance of the shared habitat. Seasonal migration is one of the defining survival behaviors of plains zebras. Depending on shifts in climate and grassland conditions, many zebra herds can travel up to 1,100 kilometers each year in search of food and water. However, within Etosha National Park, this behavior is no longer uniform across the entire population. Scientists have observed a phenomenon known as partial migration, where only a portion of individuals within a herd embark on migratory journeys, while others remain near fixed water sources such as Okaukuejo. This split reflects both the species' flexible adaptability to changing environments and the impact of external factors like fences, roads, and the risk of disease outbreaks such as anthrax, which becomes more prevalent during the dry season. As of early 2025, the wild population of plains zebras is estimated to range between 150,000 and 250,000 mature individuals. This number has declined by approximately 25% since the 1990s, primarily due to habitat loss and the impacts of illegal hunting. While the species is not currently classified as endangered, the rate of population decline has raised concerns among conservationists about its long-term recovery, especially as migration corridors continue to be fragmented by urban development and agricultural expansion. As herds of plains zebras gather around the shallow waterholes, the gaze of a lion is already locked on from the shadows. At Okaukuejo, predator and prey enter a silent battle of wits, where hunger, thirst, and the searing 48°C heat all become weapons wielded by nature itself. During the dry season, Okaukuejo becomes the crossroads where all life cycles collide. Prey have no choice. Every species is drawn to the same dwindling water source. As their numbers grow, so does their vigilance. Lionesses are forced to adapt their strategy, no longer chasing, but ambushing. They use the low, dry grass, old earth mounds, and even the shadows cast by a crescent moon to conceal their presence. One lioness often moves toward the herd to draw attention. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 others silently circle through the brush, cutting behind and forming a tight arc around the prey. Once the distance closes to under 30 meters, there's a low crouch, then the burst. In an instant, the savanna grass explodes into motion. With a powerful leap, the lion launches onto the prey's back, slamming it to the ground, and ends it all with a firm bite to the throat. An adult lion, with its powerful build, broad chest, sturdy forelimbs, and sharp teeth, is capable of bringing down prey that weighs twice as much as itself. Even so, lions in the wild have a relatively low hunting success rate, only about 20 to 25%. A pride must make several successful kills each week to sustain the group, including the younger members who are not yet able to hunt. In the scorching heat of the Namibian desert, they spend most of their time resting, up to 21 hours a day, to conserve energy for their nighttime hunts. Unlike most members of the cat family, lions are social animals, living in groups known as prides. A pride typically consists of related females, along with one or a few adult males. The females maintain the structure of the pride, raise the young, and do the hunting. The males, with their iconic thick manes and roars that can carry up to 8 kilometers, use these vocalizations not just to mark territory, but as a clear message to any potential intruders. Amid the hazy dust of the savanna, the low rumble of a lion's roar echoes through the Okaukuejo night, a quiet reminder that life is a sacred gift, but to hold on to it, every creature must fight on as part of a wondrous design woven by the Creator. From nature's perspective, there are no heroes or villains, only instincts divinely given to endure. In the golden light of the late dry season sunset, each step of the African elephant stirs a veil of dust across the semi-arid savanna. Standing up to 4 meters tall at the shoulder and weighing as much as 7.5 tons in adult males, they are the largest land animals on Earth. Yet despite their immense size, they move with a sense of quiet majesty, from their wide, fan-shaped ears that unfold like sails to their long, agile trunks that can pluck a small branch or draw in dozens of liters of water within seconds. Their curved tusks are among their most striking features, though in Etosha, where the soil lacks certain minerals, elephants often grow shorter tusks compared to those in eastern or central Africa. They are never alone on their journey of survival. Every elephant herd is a family, led by an older female, often called the matriarch. She is the one who holds the longest memories, capable of recalling the locations of seasonal water sources, safe travel routes, and how to avoid dangers from both predators and humans. This matriarchal social structure is deeply generational, where survival skills are passed down not just through instinct, but through behavior, memory, and observation. A form of learning that goes far beyond basic instinct. The dry season transforms Etosha's landscape in unforgiving ways. As natural waterholes dry up, vegetation withers, and the ground splits open from lack of moisture, elephant herds are forced to travel dozens of kilometers each day in search of water and food. At Okaukuejo, thanks to year-round artificial waterholes, herds gather to drink, bathe in mud, and cool themselves, spraying water across their backs or using their trunks to toss mud onto their skin, offering relief from the sun and keeping insects at bay. The diet of the African elephant is entirely plant-based. An adult elephant can consume up to 150 kilograms of food and drink as much as 100 liters of water each day. Their meals include grasses, tree leaves, bark, and occasionally fallen fruits. With such massive daily consumption, elephants serve as true ecosystem engineers. By breaking shrubs, toppling small trees, and carving paths through dense vegetation, they create space for other wildlife to move and thrive. At the same time, seeds from various plants are dispersed through elephant dung, helping sustain the plant life cycle across the savanna. Elephants don't migrate over long distances like antelope or zebra, but they do move in seasonal cycles. Under the guidance of the matriarch, they choose routes based on rainfall patterns, the presence of underground water sources, and the condition of vegetation. Their long-term memory allows them to return to waterholes they visited years ago, even when the landscape has since changed. Although African elephants can live an average of 60 to 70 years in the wild, their life journey is filled with challenges. Poaching for ivory, habitat loss due to human expansion, and direct conflict with local communities continue to drive down elephant populations. According to the latest reports, as of 2024, the total number of African elephants remaining in the wild is estimated to range between 350,000 and 500,000 individuals. In Namibia, especially in the northwestern regions including Etosha, focused conservation efforts have helped keep elephant numbers stable. Core to this success are monitoring systems, armed ranger patrols, and conservation infrastructure at key waterholes like Okaukuejo. Etosha National Park is not only home to the record-breaking African elephant, but also shelters another giant. This time, not a mammal, but the largest bird on Earth. Under the searing sun, as the cracked ground of Etosha bears the marks of time, the common ostrich strides confidently between the few remaining waterholes. Though flightless, this remarkable bird has adapted perfectly to the semi-desert landscape with its long legs, impressive speed, and remarkable endurance. They can reach heights of up to 2.8 meters, well beyond the reach of most predators. When threatened, a single kick from their powerful legs can inflict serious injury on any would-be attacker. Still, their greatest weapon is speed. With the ability to run up to 70 kilometers per hour, they are true long-distance runners of the semi-arid savanna, where the horizon seems to stretch on forever. Despite their large size and some ability to defend themselves, common ostriches rely heavily on group living strategies to increase their chances of survival. During the dry season, they typically travel in groups ranging from 5 to over 50 individuals, moving together between water sources in search of food and hydration. As omnivores, they can survive on a varied diet that includes dry leaves, seeds, roots, insects, and even animal remains. When water is scarce, they shift toward moisture-rich plants and, thanks to an exceptionally efficient digestive system, are able to go extended periods without drinking, absorbing and retaining water directly from their food. At Okaukuejo, where precious groundwater is pumped into artificial waterholes, common ostriches gather alongside other herbivores. This is no place for peaceful rest. It's the center of a quiet struggle for survival, with predators never lurking too far away. In this high-stakes environment, the common ostrich is equipped with the largest eyes of any land-dwelling animal, measuring up to 5 centimeters in diameter. These powerful eyes allow them to detect subtle movements from a distance, often sensing danger long before other species are even aware. During the breeding season, their behavior becomes more animated against the backdrop of the parched landscape. Males typically choose an open patch of land to perform their signature courtship display, shaking their heads, stretching their necks, and kicking up clouds of dust with their feet. If accepted, the female lays her eggs in a shallow nest dug by the male right on the ground. A single nest can hold up to 60 eggs, each weighing around 1.35 kilograms, larger than a baseball. In Etosha's harsh conditions, these eggs become tempting targets for a range of predators, so both the male and female take turns guarding the nest, even when ground temperatures soar beyond 50 degrees Celsius. The existence of the common ostrich stands as a testament to remarkable adaptability in the semi-arid savanna. In a world where speed, awareness, and social coordination are key to survival, this bird continues to run for its life, while keeping alive the primal heartbeat of Africa. The existence of the common ostrich stands as a testament to remarkable adaptability in the semi-arid savanna. In a world where speed, awareness, and social coordination are key to survival, this bird continues to run for its life, while keeping alive the primal heartbeat of Africa. The waterhole at Halali sustains a wide array of wildlife. Thanks to its dense vegetation and rugged terrain, it also serves as an ideal nighttime hunting ground for predators. The soft lighting at Halali's waterhole allows visitors to observe nocturnal activity without disturbing the animals, offering a truly authentic and tranquil safari experience in the heart of Etosha's wilderness. As the surface of Halali's waterhole begins to reflect the soft golden hues of sunset, the rhythm of the forest quietly shifts. Amid scattered tree canopies and the rugged limestone ground, the greater kudu emerges in silence. With their tall, imposing build, adult males can stand up to 1.6 meters at the shoulder and weigh between 270 and 315 kilograms. They are among the largest antelope species in Africa. But that size doesn't make them clumsy. Their long, spiraled horns, stretching up to about 1.2 meters, serve both as formidable weapons and as a signature trait that makes them instantly recognizable. Unlike herd-dwelling species like blue wildebeest or plain zebra, greater kudus live in small, socially flexible groups. A typical group consists of just 6 to 10 individuals, with males often roaming alone or joining temporarily during the breeding season. This lifestyle helps minimize the risk of being spotted by predators in an environment where shade and vegetation are too sparse to offer full concealment. To cope with the harsh conditions of the dry season, greater kudus adjust their daily rhythm, becoming most active in the early morning and late afternoon, while spending much of the day resting in the shade and ruminating to conserve water and energy. Though primarily browsers, their diet extends beyond just leaves. With their flexible muzzles and ability to reach mid-level foliage, they also consume flowers, fruits, young shoots, and, when available, tender grasses. The survival of the greater kudu comes not only from its varied diet, but also from its exceptionally sharp senses. Their large ears, constantly tuned to even the faintest sounds, allow them to detect danger early. When they sense a threat, they often remain motionless, relying on their striped, camouflaged coats to blend seamlessly into the rocky woodland and brush. But if they must flee, they can leap as high as 3 meters, clearing fences or thorny thickets with ease, as if gravity has no hold, putting swift distance between themselves and any pursuer. After the soft footsteps of the greater kudu at dusk, the air grows so still that even the sound of falling leaves seems to echo across the pale limestone plains. It is then that the leopard, a master predator cloaked in shadow, emerges in silence, eyes fixed on every movement, poised for the intense standoff between instinct and survival, where the delicate bond between hunter and prey is etched into every silent second. With an average weight ranging from 30.9 to 72 kilograms for males and 20.5 to 43 kilograms for females, the leopard possesses a body that is both powerful enough to bring down prey and compact enough to move with agility through low woodlands and the rugged limestone terrain of Halali. Their coat, varying from pale yellow to deep gold and adorned with black rosette patterns, provides near-perfect camouflage, rendering them almost invisible under the dappled moonlight filtering through the Mopani canopy. With a typical lifespan of 12 to 17 years in the wild, leopards are among the longest living of the big cats, and also one of the most widely distributed. In Etosha alone, leopard density averages between 0.5 and 3.8 individuals per 100 square kilometers, with higher concentrations found in areas of dense vegetation cover and rich prey diversity, such as Halali. Leopards are solitary hunters, primarily active at night. Rather than chasing prey like many other predators, they rely on ambush tactics. They can spend hours observing from an elevated perch or hidden within dense brush, waiting for the moment their target lets down its guard, then launching a swift, precise attack, often ending with a fatal bite to the neck. After making a kill, a leopard will drag the carcass up into a tree, sometimes as high as 6 meters, to keep it out of reach from scavengers and competing predators. This behavior is a rare trait among big cats and highlights their exceptional ability to use vertical space, an elegant blend of survival skill and energy-saving strategy. A big cat's meal would be far more complete if not for the arrival of one of Africa's most relentless and aggressive intruders. Raspy, broken sounds echo through the night like a stifled, mocking laugh, announcing the approach of the spotted hyena, the continent's most determined and persistent scavenger. Not as large as a lion, nor as fast as a cheetah, the spotted hyena owes its dominance to persistence, tightly knit social structures, and remarkable adaptability, making it the most widespread carnivore in sub-Saharan Africa. Their weight ranges from 45 to 70 kilograms, with females typically about 6.6 kilograms heavier than males, a rare trait among carnivorous mammals. With a sturdy build, a powerful neck and jaw, and a coat of pale yellow marked with dark spots, spotted hyenas have a distinctive appearance that stands out across the savanna and the scrubby woodlands of Halali. The jaw of the spotted hyena is one of the most powerful biological tools in the natural world. With a bite force measured at around 448 newtons per square centimeter, they can crush large bones with ease, allowing them to digest marrow, hooves, skin, and even teeth. This ability enables hyenas to utilize nearly every part of a carcass, making them incredibly efficient natural recyclers, especially valuable in food-scarce conditions like the dry season in Etosha. Although often labeled as scavengers, research shows that spotted hyenas are, in fact, highly effective hunters, with success rates reaching up to 67% in some populations. They typically hunt in small to medium-sized groups, working together to take down large prey. At Halali, where herbivores cluster around the few remaining waterholes during the dry season, hyenas use the rugged terrain for ambushes or lie in wait to steal a meal from other predators, a prime example of their flexible and opportunistic strategy. One of the most striking features of spotted hyena social behavior is their rare matriarchal structure. Clans can number over 50 individuals, with females holding dominant status and males ranking lower in the social hierarchy. Each clan controls a vast territory, which they regularly patrol and mark with scent and vocalizations. Their signature sound, often referred to as laughter, is actually a complex series of vocal signals conveying social rank, emotional states, and cues for group coordination. In terms of distribution, spotted hyenas are found across Africa's savannas, dry forests, and semi-deserts, from Senegal to Namibia. In Etosha, particularly around the Halali area, they maintain a stable population thanks to their remarkable adaptability and the park's effective conservation environment. Within this ecosystem, they play a crucial role as natural sanitizers, helping prevent the spread of disease by efficiently consuming animal remains. Unlike the noisy commotion of the spotted hyena clan, another nocturnal predator watches in complete silence. From above, the spotted eagle owl glides effortlessly through the air on velvety wings, without making the slightest sound. The spotted eagle owl is one of the most widespread owl species in southern Africa, measuring around 45 centimeters in length, with a wingspan ranging from 100 to 140 centimeters and weighing between 454 and 907 grams. It may not appear imposing in size, but it possesses a host of biological advantages. Its gray-brown plumage, flecked with white spots and chest barring, allows it to blend seamlessly into Etosha's limestone terrain and dry season vegetation. A pale yellow facial disc and glowing yellow eyes serve as highly sensitive sensory tools for navigating the dark. Its true ears are hidden beneath the feathers along the sides of the face, while the feather tufts atop its head, often mistaken for ears, are actually visual signals used to express emotion or signal threat. In dry season conditions, when most prey species shrink their range and gather near water sources like Halali, the spotted eagle owl adapts its hunting approach to take advantage of this shift in ecosystem behavior. It relies on nearly silent flight, made possible by specialized feather structures on its wings and tail. This allows the owl to approach targets at close range without being detected. A swift swoop from a low branch can end in an instant, snatching up a rodent, small bird, or even a reptile or large insect with effortless precision. In addition to their sharp night vision, The spotted eagle owl's sound localization ability is truly remarkable. The feather-lined facial disc acts like a directional antenna, allowing it to detect even the slightest movement from a distance, even in total darkness. Thanks to this hunting system, the spotted eagle owl consumes a large number of rodents, playing a crucial role in controlling their populations, especially important during the dry season when exploding numbers of mice and hares can further strain already depleted vegetation. The spotted eagle owl isn't just a silent hunter, it also displays some fascinating defensive behaviors. When feeling threatened, it may crouch low, spread its wings wide like an umbrella, raise its head tufts, and let out a raspy hiss, creating a striking visual and auditory display to deter potential threats. On rare rainy nights during the dry season, they're sometimes seen perched with wings outstretched, seemingly bathing in the rain. A strange yet beautiful sight that reflects their deep, instinctive connection to the wild world around them. A dark silhouette glides slowly across the silent sky. Not as hurried as a predator, nor as delicate as a migratory bird, the lappet-faced vulture appears as a still and solemn presence above Halali. With a wingspan reaching up to 2.9 meters and a commanding, almost meditative posture, this species is the largest vulture in Africa. The lappet-faced vulture stands out with its bare, pinkish-red head and the loose folds of skin, called lappets, that drape along either side of its neck, helping prevent bacteria from clinging to its skin. This lack of feathers on the head isn't a sign of weakness or decay, but rather the product of millions of years of evolution, perfectly tailored for its unique ecological role, dealing with remains that no other species dares to touch. In Etosha, especially during the dry season when water and food are scarce, the lappet-faced vulture stands out for its remarkable ability to locate carcasses from great distances. When a large animal falls on the barren savanna, the lappet-faced vulture is often the first to arrive. With one of the strongest hooked beaks among vultures, it can tear through thick skin, muscle, tendons, and ligaments, clearing the way for other scavengers to access the softer remains inside. Contrary to their passive reputation, this species can strip the bones of a small antelope in under 20 minutes. In rare instances, lappet-faced vultures may even actively hunt small animals such as birds, reptiles, hares, or fish, demonstrating a surprising level of adaptability and assertiveness when opportunity calls. According to the latest data from 2024, the global population of lappet-faced vultures in the wild has dropped to around 6,500 individuals, a significant decline over the past 2 decades. Their most serious threat is secondary poisoning, particularly when animal carcasses are left behind containing pesticides or toxic chemicals. In addition, the loss of nesting habitats due to deforestation and the decline of large mammal populations, their primary food source, have further pushed this species toward danger. Currently, the International Union for Conservation of Nature has classified the lappet-faced vulture as endangered, a critical red flag for its conservation status. In Etosha, the lappet-faced vulture plays an irreplaceable ecological role. By swiftly removing carcasses, it helps limit the spread of bacteria, viruses, and other disease-causing agents that can threaten both wildlife and humans. Without spectacle or pursuit, this vulture fulfills the final step in nature's life cycle, keeping the savanna in balance. It's a task that may not shine in glory, but one that is absolutely vital. black-faced impala is a subspecies found only in southwestern Namibia, with its largest population centered in Etosha, quietly sustaining its lineage through caution and remarkable adaptability in a harsh, arid land. Unlike the more widespread common impala, the black-faced impala is easily recognized by a distinctive dark stripe running from the nose through the eyes, along with a rich, deep brown coat tinged with a purplish hue. They are larger and darker than their eastern and central African counterparts, a natural advantage in an environment filled with dust and intense sunlight. Instead of forming large herds, the black-faced impala adopts a smaller, more flexible social structure. Each group typically consists of just 3 to 15 individuals. During the breeding season, they may gather into larger herds to better protect their young from predators. Adult males usually live separately, approaching female groups only during periods of estrus, then withdrawing again, minimizing conflict and internal competition within the population. A long-term study revealed that more than 30 years after being reintroduced into Etosha, some black-faced impala individuals had moved up to 31.5 kilometers from their original release sites, a clear testament to their strong navigational skills and adaptability in a semi-arid environment. This movement doesn't form the sweeping migration routes seen in larger antelope species, but rather reflects a subtle, seasonal redistribution across favorable microhabitats. As of 2024, the global population of black-faced impalas stands at around 3,000 individuals, with only about 1,500 residing within Etosha. This subspecies is classified as vulnerable due to its limited geographic range and the threat of hybridization with the more widespread common impala. Even so, Etosha has become the largest official sanctuary in the world dedicated to this subspecies, widely regarded as one of Namibia's most notable successes in native wildlife conservation. Though they share the striking black facial stripe, the gemsbok carries itself with a calm, deliberate gait, quite different from the slender grace of the impala, marked by long, straight horns and a solid, muscular frame. Its sword-like horns, reaching up to 120 centimeters, are a defining feature, making the gemsbok one of the most visually iconic antelope species in Africa. Its smooth gray-brown coat, accented by bold black and white markings on the face, legs, and flanks, provides perfect camouflage in the intense glare reflecting off Etosha's stony, sunlit terrain. During the dry season, when ground temperatures can soar past 45 degrees Celsius and most animals must rely on waterholes to survive, the gemsbok sets itself apart with an extraordinary independence. It has evolved a range of unique biological adaptations that allow it to go without drinking water for weeks, even months. While its diet typically includes dry grasses, when those vanish, it turns to roots, tubers, and desert fruits like the desert melon, foods rich in moisture. Remarkably, it can dig up to 1 meter deep into the dry earth to uncover hidden water sources, a survival skill finely tuned to the harsh rhythms of the desert. The physiology of the gemsbok is finely tuned to conserve every drop of water. Its body can tolerate internal temperatures of up to 45 degrees Celsius without sweating, a remarkable adaptation for desert life. A specialized network of blood vessels in the nose, known as the carotid rete, functions like a natural cooling system, lowering the temperature of blood before it reaches the brain and protecting the central nervous system from overheating. When night falls and the air cools, the gemsbok releases stored heat without losing moisture, a perfectly orchestrated thermoregulation cycle shaped by evolution to master survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. They move mostly at dawn and dusk. When temperatures are lower, the light is softer and predators are less active. When threatened, a gemsbok can reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, fast enough to evade most predators in open terrain. But rather than fleeing right away, they often stop, turn to face the danger, and lower their horns in a defensive stance, a posture so commanding that even experienced hunters often hesitate before making a move. In Namibia, the gemsbok is more than just a symbol of the wild. It's a national emblem featured on the country's coat of arms, representing both cultural identity and ecological heritage. With an estimated population of around 373,000 individuals nationwide, this antelope has maintained its stronghold thanks to stable habitats and long-term conservation policies. Within Etosha National Park, particularly in the quiet, less-traveled regions of Dolomite Hill and Olifantsaurus, the gemsbok lives undisturbed, preserving ancient behavioral patterns in a setting that remains remarkably close to its natural origins. As the final shadows of the mopane trees stretch across the cracked earth, a dark, shaggy figure slips by, unhurried, unassuming. It is the brown hyena, one of Africa's most elusive carnivores, less talked about than its spotted hyena relative, yet armed with a survival strategy honed in some of the driest, most unforgiving landscapes on Earth. The brown hyena is not a creature easily mistaken. With its long, shaggy, dark brown coat, a mane that rises when it needs to assert dominance, pointed ears, and ever-scanning eyes, it carries an eerie silhouette, half wild dog, half desert spirit. Yet that very coat serves a vital purpose, providing excellent insulation in a land where daytime ground temperatures can soar above 45 degrees Celsius, while nighttime lows can dip below 10 degrees Celsius. They are primary scavengers, but far from passive. During the dry season in Dolomite Hill and Olifantsaurus, when herbivores like gemsbok or springbok succumb to exhaustion or heat and leave behind their remains, the brown hyena is often among the first to arrive. Its keen sense of smell can detect a carcass from long distances, and its powerful jaws are strong enough to crush the thigh bone of a fully grown antelope. When carcasses are scarce, brown hyenas shift to opportunistic hunting strategies, going after rodents, insects, ostrich eggs, or even moisture-rich desert melons, which can provide just enough hydration to sustain them through the harshest days. One of their most fascinating traits is their vast home range, which can stretch up to 1,000 square kilometers depending on resource availability and competition. Under the muted golden sun and long hours of silence at Dolomite Hill, the quiet silhouette of a brown hyena moving across the rocky slope becomes a powerful symbol of slow, steady survival, endurance etched into every step. As the parched days slowly retreat and the first storm breaks, bringing a rush of cool, moisture-laden air, Etosha National Park begins its transformation into the rainy season, spanning from November to April. Through the rising mist above the salt-crusted surface, a strange movement begins in the distance. Soft pink streaks gliding slowly, then gathering into vibrant clusters across the muddy expanse. It is the moment the greater flamingos return. This flamingo species stands between 110 and 150 centimeters tall, with a wingspan that can reach up to 165 centimeters. It is instantly recognizable by its pale pink plumage, crimson wings, and long, stilt-like legs. Known as both the largest and most widespread flamingo in the world, the greater flamingo is found across Africa, Asia, and southern Europe, with a global population estimated at between 550,000 and 680,000 individuals as of 2023. Etosha Pan, the vast salt basin, truly comes to life for only a few months each year, during the rains. When rainfall forms a shallow layer across the pan's surface, something remarkable begins. Algae and plankton bloom rapidly, creating a rich food source filled with carotenoid pigments. The very compounds greater flamingos absorb to tint their feathers pink. That vivid color is further enhanced by oils from the preen gland near their beaks, a natural way to highlight their beauty and attract mates during the breeding season. The life cycle of the greater flamingo at Etosha Pan is closely tied to the unpredictability of rainfall. This species does not follow a fixed breeding season. Instead, it breeds only when water conditions are just right. However, Etosha Pan doesn't meet ideal conditions every year. When rainfall is insufficient or water evaporates too quickly, the entire flock is forced to leave. Adult flamingos then move fluidly to other wetland areas, such as Walvis Bay to the west or inland lakes in Botswana, in search of more suitable breeding grounds. In years of heavy rain at Etosha Pan, when water levels are high enough to avoid flooding nests but still support abundant algae growth, flamingos will breed in massive colonies, sometimes numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Their synchronized courtship dances, wing flutters, and rhythmic head dips are not only stunning displays to attract mates, but also essential behaviors that reinforce social bonds and maintain cohesion within such a densely packed community. When the flock of greater flamingos descends upon Etosha Pan after the first seasonal rains, the vast salt basin suddenly comes alive, bathed in a shimmering blush of soft pink, as if draped in a surreal sacred robe gifted by nature to the desert. Have you ever witnessed the moment when flamingos turn Etosha Pan into a living canvas of color? Let us know in the comments below. Alongside the spectacular return of the greater flamingos painting the salt pan pink, the landscape is also graced by the elegant form of the great egret. Against the muted grey of the sky and the earthy brown of the mudflats, this white heron appears as a quiet streak of light, gentle yet vivid, a symbol of the delicate but enduring beauty that defines Etosha's fleeting flood season. The great egret is not a year-round resident of Etosha. They arrive with the onset of the rainy season, bringing with them the calm, measured presence of a bird that thrives on stillness. With a wingspan ranging from 1.3 to 1.7 meters and a flight speed of around 40 kilometers per hour, they travel with graceful efficiency, passing through multiple stopovers to reach the shallow waters of the Etosha Pan. When standing still in the shallow water, the great egret seems to dissolve into the landscape. Its stillness is, in fact, its most effective hunting strategy. With sharp eyes and a long, dagger-like bill, it can strike with lightning precision. One swift jab, and a small fish or young frog vanishes into its slender, snow-white throat. The diet of the great egret includes fish, amphibians, aquatic insects, and crustaceans, creatures that become abundant with the arrival of rain. While there are no exact figures on how much a single bird consumes daily, studies have shown that the great egret can adjust its foraging behavior based on food availability, playing a vital role in regulating populations of small aquatic animals. During the rainy season, breeding conditions become ideal. Long, sleek aigrettes grow along their backs and are fanned out during courtship displays, like living silk paintings dancing across the floodplain. They nest in trees, often mopane or camel thorn, near the water's edge. Colonial nesting offers added protection, as grouping together helps safeguard eggs and chicks from predators. Etosha is not just a resting place, it is a place of renewal. Yet, climate shifts are making the rainy season increasingly unpredictable. According to the Namibia Meteorological Service, rainfall across many parts of Etosha from 2023 to 2024 fell below average, impacting flood levels and disrupting the ecological rhythm of the Etosha Pan. Even so, the consistent presence of the great egret is a testament to the park's enduring ecological value, a habitat still rich and diverse enough to draw in even the most selective of migratory species. The great egret nearly vanished at the end of the 19th century, driven to the brink by a wave of hunting for its elegant plumes, used in fashion. Yet, from that crisis, it emerged as a powerful symbol of conservation, chosen as the emblem of the National Audubon Society, representing compassion and humanity's capacity for redemption in its relationship with nature. Its faithful return to Etosha each rainy season is a quiet reminder of the unbreakable bond between living creatures and the environments that sustain them. Also dressed in pure white plumage like the egret, the African spoonbill stands out with its bright red legs and uniquely flattened, spoon-shaped bill. This bird adds a gentle, graceful brushstroke to the vibrant mosaic of species that depend on the rhythms of the rainy season in Etosha National Park. Standing around 90 centimeters tall, cloaked in white feathers with striking red legs and bill, the African spoonbill is a master of subtle adaptation to wetland environments. Its most defining feature, the long, flat, spoon-shaped bill, is a perfectly evolved tool for a uniquely tactile style of hunting. While many other water birds rely on sight to catch their prey, the African spoonbill uses touch. It moves gently through shallow water, sweeping its bill from side to side like a sensing arm feeling through space. The moment the tip of the bill brushes against a small fish, insect, or amphibian, a rapid reflex is triggered. The bill snaps shut with swift, pinpoint precision. This hunting strategy becomes especially effective in places like the Etosha Pan, where shallow waters, soft mud, and the absence of strong currents create ideal conditions for detecting prey through water ripples. Their reliance on wetland conditions ties the African spoonbill's life cycle closely to the erratic rhythms of the rainy season. Rather than undertaking long-distance migrations like many other bird species, they move in a nomadic pattern, appearing and disappearing with the rains, following the scattered pulse of seasonal wetlands. In Etosha, the rainy season typically begins around November and lasts through April. However, the African spoonbill usually breeds toward the end of this period, from April to May, when water levels have stabilized and food availability peaks. Each clutch typically contains 3 to 5 eggs. The chicks hatch with short, soft bills, not yet spoon-shaped. Only after a few weeks does the bill gradually develop into the specialized, finely tuned tool that will serve as their key to survival. At Etosha Pan, the presence of the African spoonbill is a positive ecological indicator. It signals that water sources are relatively unpolluted, flooding levels are adequate, and the aquatic food chain is functioning in balance. As an intermediate predator, the spoonbill helps regulate populations of small fish and bottom-dwelling organisms, playing a crucial role in keeping the salt pan ecosystem running smoothly during its brief but vital rainy season. Amid the flurry of waterbirds during the rainy season, the grey-crowned crane emerges as a striking emblem of wild Africa. Celebrated as the national bird of Uganda, this rare species captivates with its golden feathered crown, white cheeks, vibrant red throat pouch, and graceful stride, like a figure stepping out of an ancient ceremony. More than just a regal presence on a national flag, it stands as a symbol of elegance, harmony, and renewal. This species belongs to the most ancient group of cranes, with origins tracing back to the Miocene era. Remarkably, the grey-crowned crane has retained a rare trait: the ability to perch in trees thanks to a flexible hind toe, a feature almost entirely absent in modern crane species. Grey-crowned cranes primarily inhabit wetlands, grasslands, and savannas, stretching from east to southern Africa. During the dry season, they may disperse more widely in search of water and food, but for the most part, they are resident birds, making short seasonal movements, especially in places like Etosha Pan, where life pulses to the unpredictable rhythm of the rain. When the water is just deep enough to flood the grasslands, but not so high as to submerge their nests, grey-crowned cranes find the perfect conditions to raise their young and forage with ease. Their diet is highly adaptable, consisting of insects, seeds, plant roots, and occasionally small animals like frogs or reptiles. With their short, precise bills, they gently pick and probe the soft, rain-soaked earth, making the most of the freshly formed mud layers. Outside the breeding season, they gather in small groups or large flocks of up to 150 individuals, moving gracefully across the grasslands like rippling waves of soft grey and gold. In 2024, surveys revealed a sharp decline in the global population of grey-crowned cranes, with numbers estimated between 29,500 and 36,000 individuals. They are now listed as endangered on the IUCN Red List. The primary threats driving them toward extinction include habitat loss from agricultural expansion, the draining of wetlands, pollution from agricultural chemicals, and increasing conflict with human activity. At Etosha Pan, although their numbers are modest, the grey-crowned crane holds a deeply symbolic role within the Salt Pan Depression ecosystem. They serve as vital ecological indicators, reflecting the health and balance of these seasonal wetlands. By surviving in an environment that is both harsh and fragile, they embody the delicate harmony between wildness and renewal. The radiant beauty of the grey-crowned crane feels like a divine flourish from the Creator, needing no words, only presence to inspire awe. Among the greater flamingo, great egret, African spoonbill, and grey-crowned crane, which do you think has the most striking appearance in Etosha? Let us know in the comments. On the fresh green grass, just beginning to sprout after the rains, the towering silhouette of the Angolan giraffe rises like a living pillar of Dolomite Hill. As the largest giraffe species in Namibia, their long legs move slowly and gracefully through lingering rain puddles, leaving behind blurred, deep footprints in the soft, muddy earth. The Angolan giraffe is a subspecies native to southern Africa, primarily found in northern Namibia, including Etosha, as well as parts of southwestern Zambia, Botswana, and western Zimbabwe. Despite bearing the name Angolan, the species was once believed to be extinct in the very country it's named after. Thanks to dedicated conservation efforts over the past 2 decades, reintroduction programs have successfully re-established several populations in Angola, an inspiring example of a species making a remarkable return to its homeland. Standing at over 5.5 meters tall, the Angolan giraffe's neck alone can stretch nearly 2 meters. Supported by just 7 cervical vertebrae, the same number as in humans, but on a scale of unmatched size and strength. Its coat is a soft, sandy yellow, almost desert-like in tone, adorned with irregular, smoky brown patches, a distinctive pattern that sets it apart from other giraffe subspecies across Africa. That very coloring, when filtered through the post-rain light shining across mopane thickets, allows it to blend seamlessly into the landscape, both striking and subtle, an elegant balance of form and environment. In the Dolomite region, the rainy season opens a crucial window of opportunity for the survival of the Angolan giraffe. With annual rainfall averaging between 300 and 500 millimeters, the water isn't enough to create deep wetlands, but it is just enough to awaken dormant seeds and trigger a swift ecosystem revival. Fresh mopane leaves and rapidly regenerating shrubs flourish after the rains, offering a rich food supply for giraffes, especially at heights few other animals can reach. This is the season when they regain strength after the long, dry months, storing energy for breeding and caring for their young. The Angolan giraffe doesn't undertake long migrations like some of Etosha's other herbivores. Instead, it makes smaller, seasonal movements, primarily in response to shifts in food and water availability. When vegetation is plentiful, giraffes may remain in higher, more open areas like Dolomite Hill, where they can avoid predators and enjoy access to a diverse range of browse. As grasses thin out and resources become scarce, they gradually move toward lower-lying areas or seek out remaining waterholes to meet their physiological needs. Within the Dolomite Hill savanna ecosystem, the presence of the Angolan giraffe plays a vital ecological role. By browsing on high foliage, they help regulate canopy density and promote plant diversity, ensuring light and space for lower-growing species. They also serve as ecological indicators, signaling the health and stability of the semi-arid savanna system. Each step they take leaves a subtle imprint on the functioning of the entire food web, from predators to pollinating insects, shaping the landscape in ways both visible and invisible. Not far from the towering Angolan giraffe, the presence of the steenbok offers a delicate counterpoint to the wild world of the Dolomite Hill savanna. With oversized ears constantly tuned to the slightest sound and wide, alert eyes scanning the terrain, the steenbok embarks on its familiar survival cycle, solitary, cautious, and quietly enduring as the savanna shifts with the season. Standing only about 45 to 60 centimeters tall at the shoulder and weighing between 7 and 16 kilograms, the steenbok is modest in size compared to most other herbivores sharing the savanna. Its reddish-brown coat contrasts with a bright white underbelly, blending beautifully with the patchy mix of dry and green grasses typical of the rainy season. Its tail is so short it's almost invisible. Only the males bear horns, smooth, straight spikes ranging from 7 to 19 centimeters in length, useful for self-defense but not for display-driven combat like those of larger antelope species. This antelope lives almost entirely in seclusion. The steenbok is a solitary animal, coming together with others only during the breeding season. Each individual maintains its own territory, ranging from a few dozen to several hundred hectares, depending on food availability. Though small in size, the steenbok possesses remarkably sharp reflexes and survival skills. When sensing danger, it will freeze completely, pressing its body flat against the ground, like a fallen leaf hidden in the grass. If spotted, it springs up suddenly and darts away in a zigzag pattern, using its small, agile frame to confuse and evade predators. Some individuals have even been observed taking temporary shelter in abandoned aardvark burrows, a testament to their ability to learn and smartly adapt to the ecological resources around them. The well-drained limestone terrain of the Dolomite Hill Savanna offers more than just food. It serves as a natural shield for the steenbok, protecting it from both environmental stress and predators. For a species that doesn't rely on surface water, the rainy season here is the perfect time to draw moisture directly from lush vegetation. Thanks to its unique physiology, the steenbok can absorb all the water it needs from tender leaves, young shoots, and occasionally fruits. When necessary, it will even feed on roots or mineral-rich soil to replenish trace nutrients, an impressive example of fine-tuned adaptation to a semi-arid world. The rainy season is also the time when steenbok give birth. After a gestation period of around 170 days, the female delivers a single fawn, carefully hidden in dense shrubs or low rocky hollows. The newborn remains motionless for several days, with the mother returning only to nurse and groom it, licking the body clean to remove any scent that might attract predators. After about 3 months, once the young is strong enough, it begins to leave its hiding place and follow the mother, learning the subtle, solitary ways of survival. From the edge of the Mopane thicket, where a young antelope lies hidden, the cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth, waits in silence, poised for the chase. With a slender build, long legs, a flexible spine that acts like a coiled spring, an extended tail for balance, and semi-retractable claws for grip, the cheetah is a living blueprint of biological design optimized for speed. It can accelerate from 0 to 96 kilometers per hour in just 3 seconds, reaching top speeds close to 112 kilometers per hour in short bursts. For the cheetah, the hunt is not about endurance. It's a test of timing, reflexes, and pinpoint precision. In Dolomite, the rainy season creates ideal conditions for this predator. Grass grows tall enough for ambush, but not so dense that it hinders visibility or speed. Prey, mainly springbok, steenbok, and other small antelope, move frequently in search of newly sprouted grass, turning every appearance into a potential opportunity. Cheetahs typically rely on stealth, closing the distance to within 100 meters or less before unleashing a final, explosive sprint. When targeting young or weakened animals, their success rate can approach 100%, though on average it hovers around 50%, a balance between precision, timing, and terrain. Though highly skilled hunters, cheetahs lack the size and strength to defend their kills against larger predators. As a result, even after a successful hunt, they often have only a few minutes to feed before being forced to retreat if a stronger carnivore arrives. This makes recovery time after each chase critical, a race for survival where speed comes with a steep energy cost and constant risk. Cheetahs display remarkably flexible social behavior. Females live mostly solitary lives, staying with their cubs only for the first 18 months. Males, especially those closely related, often form coalitions of 2 or 3 individuals. These groups share territory and cooperate in hunting, a strategy that boosts their success rate and helps defend valuable resources from competitors. Such coalitions often establish control over areas at the edges of the savanna or near waterholes, where prey frequently passes through during the rainy season. Cheetahs have a relatively fast reproductive cycle. Gestation lasts between 90 and 95 days, with litters typically ranging from 1 to 6 cubs. However, cub survival rates are low, only about 10 to 20% make it to adulthood, largely due to predation by other animals or harsh natural conditions. The cubs that do survive carry nearly identical genetic material, as today's cheetah population suffers from extremely low genetic diversity, a lingering effect of a genetic bottleneck that occurred thousands of years ago. As of the 2024 IUCN Red List, the cheetah is classified as vulnerable, with an estimated global adult population of only around 6,517 individuals. Namibia is home to the world's largest population of wild cheetahs, yet the species still faces numerous threats, including human-wildlife conflict, habitat corridor loss, illegal hunting, and disease. Their strong dependence on open grasslands and stable, low-disturbance environments makes them especially vulnerable to climate change and sudden shifts in landscape structure, placing their long-term survival at continued risk. The cheetah is the embodiment of biological precision, where speed, timing, and instinct work in perfect sync with every move. Yet, it also symbolizes the fragility of survival in the wild. And across the endless savanna, those silent, breathtaking chases continue, an essential part of Etosha's great symphony, a composition of motion, life, and the ever-thin line between existence and extinction. And within the great Etosha Symphony, where silent chases continue as part of nature's rhythm, there are also somber notes, echoing the uncertain fate of some of its most iconic creatures. The rhino, an enduring symbol of strength and resilience, is quietly disappearing from vast stretches of Africa. For decades, they've been the target of relentless poaching, driven by the irrational value placed on their horns, rooted in unproven medicinal beliefs. East Asia remains the largest hotspot in the global black market for illegal rhino parts, fueling a crisis that continues to threaten this ancient species with erasure. Official data released by the Namibian government in late January 2023 revealed a heartbreaking record. Rhino poaching reached an all-time high in 2022, with 87 individuals killed, nearly doubling the 45 poached in 2021. According to Reuters, Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism spokesperson Romeo Muyunda confirmed that poachers killed 61 black rhinos and 26 white rhinos, with the majority of incidents occurring inside Etosha National Park. In just the first quarter of 2024, 28 black rhinos were killed for their horns in Namibia, 19 of those within Etosha itself. Additionally, the country recorded the poaching of 4 elephants in 2022, further underscoring the growing threat to its most iconic wildlife. After searing dry seasons that push life to its limits, Etosha National Park stands as both a sanctuary of hope and a flashpoint of danger. In response to the escalating crisis, the Namibian government has dramatically increased the maximum penalty for rhino and elephant poaching to $1.66 million, over 1,000 times higher than previous fines. Prison sentences have also been extended from 20 to 25 years, sending a clear message: nature is no longer a legal gray area. It is protected, and its guardianship will be enforced. Alongside legal enforcement, long-term conservation projects are taking root. An ecological corridor connecting Etosha to Skeleton Coast is now backed by a 50-year commitment of $1 million annually from the Legacy Landscapes Fund. This initiative aims to protect key migration routes for giraffes, elephants, and lions, while also supporting the livelihoods of local communities. Technology is playing a growing role as well. Elephants are being tracked via GPS and satellite imagery, while thermal cameras and acoustic monitoring are now being used to count lions at night with unprecedented accuracy. Etosha is speaking, not just through the roar of lions, the wing beats of flamingos, or the heavy footsteps of elephants across cracked earth, but through a deeper call from nature itself. We are being called to become faithful stewards of creation, just as the scriptures have urged us since the beginning. And if you've ever visited Etosha National Park, witnessed a black rhino quietly drinking at Okaukuejo, or stood in awe as flamingos took flight over the shimmering waters of Etosha Pan during the rainy season, don't hesitate to share your knowledge and experiences in the comments below. Your stories can become a source of inspiration and motivation for ongoing conservation efforts and help preserve this remarkable ecosystem for generations to come. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming adventures into the wild. Or continue exploring the survival journeys of wildlife in other regions with lions versus hyenas, clash of predators in the savanna, or wild Kilimanjaro, survival on the Africa's rooftop.